Welcome to Open Your Reality, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have Vedagurudev back on the show. He was on last week, and it was a super special show for me because Vedagurudev is an actual Kriya yogi master who has been to the Himalayas, who has been trained by the great Kriya yogis of India, and he lives in Thailand, comes to us from there today. And I asked Veda to be back on the show because a lot of you guys left some juicy questions, things that you want to know about the yogi life and more. So welcome back to the show, Vedagurudev.
Namaste, Chad. Jai Babaji, Jai Mataji, Jai Sitas. Om Kriya Babaji Namo Om.
Okay, so we have questions that range here. So I put them here. There's no particular order. We'll see if we can get through as many as we can. And the first question is, great guest. And since he's willing to take questions, I have one. I'm looking perhaps to spend my remaining days trying to attain moksha, since the world isn't my cup of tea. My question would be, is there a place out there, an ashram, a monastery, a refuge, where one can focus on just the path?
Yeah, I would say, well, remaining days sounds like he doesn't have much time left. So I would say to him, what my guru told me, he was like, it's good to travel around the world, but the most important thing you could do, if you really want to go somewhere spiritual, just go in your closet, close the door, and go into your inner self. And then you could be wherever you want. If this person feels like they don't have much time, like he said, remaining days, then I can help him ascend his physical body. Just reach out to me, and here, I'll give you my email. I made that, Vedagurudev@gmail.com. Reach out to me, because Chad don't have much time, and I could show you the techniques to transcend your physical body. Like, I've done this for other people before, and if you want to reach the state of moksha, I could show you the techniques that could help you get there as fast as possible.
By the way, I don't think any guest has ever printed out their email address like that. That was pretty cool. Can you show that again?
I came prepared.
It says, if you have any problems or questions, let me help you. Can you just move it a little bit to the, email me, Vedagurudev@gmail.com, and I'll put that email below as well.
And then I set up a YouTube channel too, so.
Oh my God. Wow. New microphone, YouTube channel. I mean, taking Kriya Yoga to the next level here. That's awesome.
I was underprepared last time, but now I had a couple days to get ready.
Right. I just also want to point out that's Babaji up above.
Babaji. That's Mataji.
That's his sister
Mataji.
Yes.
And this is a picture of them in the holy lake, Satupon Lake, Babaji and Mataji. And they say that's the abode of Babaji, Satupon Lake, Himalayan mountains, Batarnak, the state of Uttarakhand, India.
And that's the statue of Babaji right there you have in front of you.
This is the holy statue of Babaji that I pray to Babaji. Before we go on, I wanted to give all viewers out there Babaji's phone number. And Babaji's phone number is his mantra. So I will give everybody out there watching this mantra diksha for Babaji and Mataji. So Babaji's mantra is Om Kriya Babaji Namo Om. And Om is the primordial sound of the universe, which basically opens the universe to have a straight connection to Babaji. Kriya, action with awareness. Babaji, the fountainhead of Kriya Yoga. Nama, salutation. And Om, the primordial sound of the universe. And if you don't resonate with Babaji, you resonate more with Mataji. It's Om Kriya Mataji Namo Om. So if you resonate with Divine Mother Mataji or Divine Father Babaji, then these are the two mantras. So I give you mantra diksha into Kriya Yoga today.
Well, we have so many more questions, but I just want to interject with one. When you showed that picture, the Himalayas look so pristine. You've been there before. Are the Himalayas as magical and beautiful as they look in that painting?
More. When you're there in person, you're just in awe of the beauty and the nature and the prana and the shakti and all the energies and all. You feel like it's vibrating with Om, the whole Himalayan mountains. So like there's a constant 24 hours a day vibration of Om in the Himalayan mountains. So it's breathtaking. It's snow-capped mountains. It's wind. It's everything you could think of. But it's the whole time I was there, I was just in awe of the beauty and the vastness of the mountains and 10 million rocks. So millions of rocks, water, glacier, everything. So yeah. So the painting doesn't do it justice. It's even better when you go in person.
Well, I hope one day to see it in person, and the air must be so pristine and fresh there as well.
Yeah, it's fresh water, fresh air. You could drink the water. Yeah, the air is great. The prana is outstanding up there. So
yeah, I used to read the Taoist text, and they said that probably the best place to live for longevity is a place like the Himalayas, where you're higher up in the mountains and the chi is better, and you can really go for longevity if you live in places like that. Not places like in Florida where it's flat, not the best place. But we do have some pretty old people here too. So
I think Florida's pretty nice where you live, Chad. So.
Yeah,
Enjoy
if you ever leave Thailand and come out to, I mean, of course Miami, but that'll be great to see you. So let me know.
Yeah, hopefully we can meet in person one day. That'd be great.
Absolutely,
it'd be my pleasure if I can one day bring you to Thailand or join you on a yatra pilgrimage to the Himalayan mountains. That'd be outstanding.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about creating a YouTube channel is that you can connect with people all over the world that invite you for something like you just said. And people from all over the world have said, hey, Chad, if you're ever in Australia, if you're ever in Canada, come visit me. And unfortunately, I don't get to travel much, but Thailand is a place that I lived for 2 years, so I might have to take you up on that offer soon. Anyway, let's get on to the
welcome anytime.
Thank you. Let's get on to the next question. It is a couple of questions. Here it is. Great interview. Okay. Thanks for that. What is the source of income for the Kriya Yoga master? How can he sustain his life? Does he have a source of income? So that's the first question.
Okay, so basically when 2020, the C thing happened, I went from making thousands of dollars DJing every week, DJing 5 times a week, to making zero. But I had a darshan, I had an intuition when I went to the Himalayan mountains in October of 2019 that 2020 was going to be a bad year. And I didn't know what that meant, but as soon as I got back, I started saving my money. So I was glad I did. I have savings from DJing, let's put it to you that way. But I look at before, when I used to DJ, I used to have to stop my sadhana and go to work. But now, when this C thing happened in 2020, I could focus on it 100%. So the progress I made since the C thing happened has been astronomical. So it's worth more than money. So, so I kind of adapted. So let's say I have some savings. I'm not going to buy a solid gold airplane tomorrow, but I have enough to get me by. I have a roof over my head. I have food in my stomach. I have clothes on my back. I could pay for my daughter's school.
Yeah.
Jai Babaji.
That's a great thing. And then also helps living in Thailand, where the cost is a lot lower than Western countries. And
True.
If it wasn't for my mother and a few other things, I would definitely be joining you over there in Thailand. But anyway,
whenever you're ready.
Man, I'm ready right now, believe me. The next question is, where does he live? I just answered that you're in Thailand, but go ahead. You could tell them where in Thailand
Yeah,
you live.
I live in a fishing village outside of Pattaya, Thailand, which is called Bang Saray, Bangsaray. It's in the province of Sattahip, which is 20 kilometers outside of Pattaya, which is basically 10 miles. So I live outside the city by the ocean and the bay and the mountain. So if you Google Bang Saray, you could see it. Or if you Google Pattaya, you could see what that's about. And you can understand why I live outside of Pattaya.
Yeah, and I had been to Pattaya before, and so I looked on the map when I first spoke with you before we even did our interview to see where you are, and it looks like a really pristine area. Somebody wanted to know, is your life secluded from the city? So you're outside the city, but do you live in a very rural place, or is there houses nearby, or what is it like? Is it a small town?
Yeah, it's smaller than Pattaya. It's about 1/3 of the size of Pattaya, but it's like a small fishing village. Like
Okay.
so, yeah, it's not secluded. I don't live in the jungle. Like I could with a 20-minute drive it takes me to get to Pattaya. So they have supermarkets by me, and they have gas station, and you've been to Thailand. There's 7-Eleven everywhere, so there's probably like 1,000 7-Elevens every part of Thailand. So
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not like in a cave in the secluded jungle. So I'm in the world, but not of the world.
And do you get around on a motorcycle?
No, I have a car.
Okay, okay, that's good. Um, Motorcycles can be dangerous. I got into 5 accidents when I was there on the motorcycle. I was a little reckless though.
Yeah, so if you ever been to Thailand, you know it's a motorcycle chaos. Everybody driving it's every kind of way, so it's millions of motorcycles on the road, squeezing in between your car, going to the front of the light. So you've been to Thailand, you understand.
Yeah,
For
much
people who
much.
haven't been, just Google.
Yeah, much. It's much safer to be in a car, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, the next part of this question is a little bit different. It says, "Is the lotus position a must? Is yoga a must? Could meditation be enough?"
Well, like I said last time, the lotus position is not a must. If you could do the lotus position comfortably, then why not? But the most important thing in meditation is comfort. Like if your knees and your legs and your hips are numb, then your monkey mind is going to be going all over the place. It's going to be jumping around. So like you want to make sure comfort is the number one thing in any type of meditation, pranayama, any type of yoga you do. Now, the more you practice, the more you loosen up your hips, the more you could do like the first thing you would do like Siddha asana, which is half lotus, like, and then you would go up little by little, like I showed you last time, move your legs up. The more you loosen up your hips, your knees. So it's not a must. Comfort is the must. So the more you're comfortable, the more you could focus in meditation and go into yourself.
The next part of that question was, must someone learn how to do yoga, or is it enough just to meditate?
That really depends on you, what resonates with you. If you think meditation is good enough for you, then fine. There really is no rules or no guidelines that you have to follow. Whatever works for you. So if you live a good life by just doing meditation, fine. If you need some extra, you need some pranayama breathing, or you need to do some asanas, or you mantra japa, that's up to you. Only you could do. I don't like it when other yogis are like, you should do this or you should do that. You should do whatever resonates with you and makes you feel good. So the only person that could really answer that question is you. So if you feel like, yeah, I could do some pranayama breathing, that would make me feel better, then that's up to you. But if you feel complete with just meditation, why not? You know, do whatever makes you feel good. You know, a lot of people are like, you should do this or you should do that. Just do what resonates with you. So
The next question here comes from a different viewer. She says, being a yogi seems to be the most important part of his life. As a mother, I wonder where his partner and especially his young daughter fit into the picture.
yeah, this is a good question because my partner is attached to the Maya life, so she doesn't understand the Kriya yoga path. And my daughter's a 14-year-old girl. She likes talking to her friends, going to the mall, like looking at Instagram, whatever 14-year-old girls do. So she doesn't understand it either. But one thing I learned about yoga, or the spiritual path, it's a solo path. It's a self path. It's an individual path. So it's really not meant for anybody else to understand as long as you understand and it makes you feel good. So like if my partner or my daughter understands or not, it kind of really doesn't matter because it's a solo path. It's an individual path and it's a lonely path, but this is what you have to accept. So I know many yogis, they have problems with their partner because you're vibrating up here and she's vibrating down here, or she's vibrating up here and you're vibrating down here. So it's a hard balance it's a hard dance to complete, So, and when you're on the spiritual path, if you have a partner, they kind of don't want you to be on the spiritual path because they're scared that you're going to leave them and they're scared that they're losing you. Like you don't care no more about them. You care more about the spiritual path, or you care more about Babaji than you do. So it's a difficult balance being a householder. Like you know the story of the Hairy Messiah in Autobiography of a Yogi when he goes invisible and his wife says, if you're such a great yogi, show me some CD powers, so something like that. So you have to have one foot in and one foot out. It's a delicate balance, like being a householder. But yeah, I would say it's a self path. It's a lonely path, but it's okay. When you have the love of God or Babaji, why do you need the love of anybody else? That might sound harsh, but when you're one with God, the love of a woman or the love of some material seems kind of small, but that sounds harsh.
It sounds harsh, but I know what you mean because I've listened to a lot of near-death experience stories, and the people who have died and gone to the light and met with, whether it was Babaji or it was Jesus or Krishna, they say that figure, the love, the unconditional love they receive from that figure is like 10,000 times more than any earthly love they've ever experienced. And Paramahansa Yogananda talks about that in his book. I think it's called Man's Eternal Search for Meaning, or I'm sorry, that's a different book. But I think it's called The Eternal Quest. If I remember correctly now, my mind's all over the place. But Yogananda talks about it, and he talks about it specifically in that book. So I get what you're saying. I'm sure that many viewers out there understand what you're saying as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like when you experience the unconditional love of the soul, the higher self, your inner God, it can't compare. And when you come back from that experience and that the love of material things seem kind of small to you, let's say it like that. They say in yoga, subject is forever, objects are transitory, they come and go. So when you're focused on the subject, the higher self, your consciousness, then you see objects as transitory. They come, they go, So
the way I feel about it is everything is on rent from the God Force, as Stuart Wilde said. He was a New Age author back in the day. But
Exactly.
your body, even your romance, your car, your home, everything is just on rent from the God Force. Eventually dissipates, and then you return to the source. So,
and when you see it like that, everything's on rent, everything is transitory. You're not attached to it. You're like, yeah, I knew she was going to leave because they all leave, and I knew my body was going to die because bodies all die. So you have that understanding, and you're not attached to it. You're like, I knew that was going to happen, so it doesn't affect me. I'm
yeah,
not
one of the
attached.
things that's so striking about Kriya Yogi and Kriya Yoga and some of the other spiritual masters, whether they be Zen masters or other types of masters, is how they kind of disregard the body in a sense. Like, it's like wearing a jacket. It's like, we're here. It's okay. The body is the body. We're using it as a vehicle to express ourselves in this physical reality, but no big deal.
Yeah, they have a meditation called I am not the body, I am not the mind, which is like, I am not this body, I'm not this mind. This meat suit that is carrying around my soul is just a vehicle. I'm not attached to it. So, and when you realize if you're not attached to your body, then all your phone, your car, your bank account, you're really not attached to that. So if you could come to that state where you realize you're not even your body, then that's the highest attachment, like this body is just some spacesuit, some meat suit driving around my soul. It will transcend one day, but my soul will live forever.
Yeah, I like that thought. Here's a question that I kind of put together from a question in the comment section. Would someone who is just being exposed to Babaji and Kriya Yoga read the book, The Voice of Babaji, that you mentioned in our first interview, or would you recommend another book that a beginner should read?
It depends on you. Whichever book resonates with you. The Voice of Babaji is more about like his teachings. Like I said, in 1952, he came to Yogi Ramaya and VT Nilakandan every night, like before they went to sleep, and he like gave them dictation, like these are the kriyas we do, these are the kriyas I want you to give to the world. So if you're into more of the techniques, I guess if you want to know more of the history from Marshall Govindan, Satchidananda's perceptive, you would read Voice of Babaji. I mean, not Voice of Babaji, Babaji and the 18 Siddhas. So it just depends. What book resonates with you? Pick it up and see if it works for you. So there's no real rules or guidelines. Like whatever go look at the books. Go to Marshall Govindan's website, www.babajisKriyayoga.net, and look at the books. And whatever one makes you feel good, read it. And if it works for you, read another one. It's everything is a first step that leads to another step, and they stack on top of each other. So you read this book, that gets you on the path, then you read this book, or, so it doesn't matter how you get on the path as long as you get on the path. And there's no real rules or guidelines that you should follow. Whatever works for you. Whatever makes you feel good and resonates with you, keep it. What doesn't resonate with you, throw it away.
Here's a question from a viewer. Without any obligation to out or reveal their names or identities, can you share 1 to 3 anecdotes of the most memorable, magical, and supernatural experiences you had in the company of other yogic masters?
I mean, I've basically seen every CD you could ever think of.
What's a CD?
3 times.
What is a CD?
A CD is a yogic power. Like, let me name some CDs. Levitation is a yogic CD. Shakti Path is a yogic CD. With Shakti Path is when they touch your third eye and they give you spiritual experience. Telling the future, clairvoyance, clear audio. They can hear things from far away.
Teleportation.
teleportation, exactly. Yeah.
telekinesis,
Telekinesis. Yeah, like all those.
bilocation.
I've seen. Yeah, they can transport location. I've seen people with they've been in such a state of samadhi that their eyes have glowed. So like, I've basically seen it all. Like, but
He,
I'm not attached to the CD. Like, like it's a good pointer. Like if you do, all these CTs are byproducts of sadhana. So they're not asking for these CTs. They kind of just happen. Like they can't like, it just comes to them like in a intuition or in a darshan. It doesn't, you can't command it. Like today I'm going to levitate. It doesn't happen like that. You're in deep meditation and you float and like, but you can't like recreate it. Like it doesn't happen like that. So my guru told me, don't get attached to any CDs. He said, who wants CDs? The short answer, the ego, the long answer, nobody. So they do these things, but it's almost like a pointer. It's not a goal. It's just a byproduct of the sadhana you do. So the more sadhana you do, these things happen. But even when they happen, you realize, what am I going to do with that? Like, I'm not going to go on the TV show and look at me. I'm a great yogi guru and I can levitate. You've never seen that, right? So if they have these CTs, they keep them secret, and it's like their secret, but between them and God. So it's not really a goal. The goal is more to do as much sadhana and go as far down the path as you can. And these CDs are like little confirmations on the path. Like, okay, that was cool, but I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, that's a good explanation. Yeah, some of the other CDs I've experienced in the books I've read is the ability to heal, the ability to bring
Correct.
back the dead to life, like Babaji did when the man threw himself off the cliff to prove his devotion.
That story I resonate with, because he says it's an American man. So I see myself like jumping off the cliff. Babaji, you, Vedagurudev, go over that cliff and jump off. Yes, Babaji. See you later.
Yeah, and the man said that he was searching almost endlessly for Babaji among the rocky crags, and finally he came across him and Babaji's small band. And Babaji said, I can't accept you in your present state of spiritual development. He goes, to prove your loyalty to me, go jump off that cliff and basically kill yourself. And so the guy did, right, without hesitation. And, I guess from what I imagine from the story, his sannyasins were probably shocked. They ran over, they looked and saw the man dead. And then Babaji said, go down, fetch him, bring him back here. And they did. Correct. And then Babaji brought him back to life. And he says, you proved your worthiness. You're now one of our flock forever. And
you'll never die again.
Just an incredible story. And so the ability,
I love that story.
I think Babaji was different than your typical Kriya yogi master who has attained a few siddhis.
Yeah, definitely.
That's another thing, right? You can be born into bodies. You could be in the astral world, come back in. And also the ability to talk to animals. There's one that I used to follow, Swami Nityananda, who was a great guru from the 20th century, and he could talk to animals. As a matter of fact, he was building an ashram, and there was a snake that didn't want to leave the area, and he wanted the snake out, and he told the snake, you can no longer be here. You have to find a different place. And the snake said, I'd rather die than go somewhere else. This is my home. So Kriyananda, Swami Nityananda, actually, he destroyed the snake, and that's what the snake preferred. So there are these different stories. And one time, a couple brought their infant to Swami Nityananda to be healed, as that's another city, and he refused to heal the child, and everybody thought he was just a monster. Just, wait, you have these powers? You can save the baby, but you didn't want to save the baby? And he said, you fools, you don't understand that this soul took onto this body to absolve itself from some negative spiritual karma. And if I kept it alive, it wouldn't allow it to burn off the karma. So when the Zen masters and the Kriya Yogi masters do these things that seem illogical, there's actually a good reason for it that we usually, as regular mortals, don't understand.
Right, correct. And they don't want to absorb other people's karma. Like they're trying to dissolve their own karma. So they don't want to absorb your karma, and that's your job to dissolve your own karma and overcome your karma. So they don't want to take on your burden as their burden. So sometimes they will and sometimes they won't. It depends.
Well, Babaji did that in Autobiography of a Yogi when he created the palace for Lahiri so he could burn off the last vestige of his karma. So they can do
Exhaust your karma. Yeah, they can do it. Like, is this all you need, a golden palace? Okay, we're going to exhaust that karma today, and now you could join me as my disciple. Yeah, so they can if they want. It depends if they want or not,
So to go back to that question, the original question from the viewer, have you seen yogis perform levitation or any of these cities that you talked about?
Yeah, all the time. I've seen it, like over 30 times, different cities that they've done. But they always go like this. It's between me and you, like me, you, and God saw that. And but yeah, it's a good story, but like you don't really get attached to it. It's a pointer to show what can be done if you really focus your inner self and you really do your sadhana, so
I think there's a misconception where I made a video a few years ago talking about the great powers that yogis possess. And I think people that look at it from the outside, they look at it as almost being a superhero. Like being a Zen master or yogi master or spiritualist is like a superpower because you can do these incredible things, but that's all the ego. And to actually get to that point where you have these cities, like you said, sometimes they're just spontaneous and you don't really control them. You have to go through like years and years of shedding the ego. So it's true dichotomy.
Yeah, and I remember a story like this guy spent like 7 years to learn how to levitate over water. And this guy Buddha came to him and he was like, "Look at me, Buddha. I spent 7 years. I could levitate over water." And Buddha said, "Why? The ferry's only a nickel." You know what I'm saying? So like,
yes,
it was basically like, you wasted 7 years on your life when you could have just took the ferry for 5 rupees, So like that's how the yogis look at these CDs. Like, yeah, they're there, they happen, but it's not my main goal. My main goal is to attain moksha, liberation, become one with the self, free your soul, like all that stuff. Like dissolve the ego as much as possible, detach, So like they kind of look at it like a cute little magic trick that happens every once in a while, but they're not really attached to it,
I get that. But for me, if I was in your position and I experienced what you experienced, I would see it as confirmation that, hey, this thing works. Like, we're bending the rules.
I do see it as confirmation. Like, it's like a little breadcrumb on the path. Like, okay, I'm on the right track. Like, and they always say, like, I'm nobody special. If I could do it, you could do it. So, like, I just did the inner work, I put in the years, and this basically what happened. I didn't ask for this to happen. It was like a little gift from God. Like, today, since you've done all this sadhana and you've done all this yogic practices, I'm going to let you meditate for 10 seconds. Like, I'm going to let you levitate for 10 seconds, You levitate and you're like, oh, that was cool, good confirmation on the path, but keep going. So these are like little breadcrumbs on the path, to basically confirm that you're on the right path, So that's the way I kind of look at it.
This viewer has another question. Aside from Babaji, which other ascended masters do you have a great affinity with, or have you maybe even connected with during meditation, or perhaps some other divine experience?
I would say if you carry God energy, if you carry divinity, I love you wholeheartedly, unconditionally, So it doesn't matter what form, Shiva, Krishna, Babaji, Mataji, if you have good, positive God energy, I resonate with you. I, there's really, that's a question I can't answer. Like if my my yoga teacher told me one time, he said if the Himalayan Yeti come in here and he has God energy, we love him like our brother. So that's the way I look at it. Like you could be the Bigfoot or abominable snowman, the Himalayan Yeti, but you are carrying God energy. We love you like our brother. So any deity that has God energy and positive energy, I love them unconditionally.
I mean, on the flip side of the coin of that, I'm just going to bring this up, but have you seen the movie 7 Years in Tibet, or have you ever read the book?
I saw it a long time ago.
Right, with Brad Pitt. Well, the story is right that in real life, the Tibetan Buddhists were very peaceful, and they were just a very spiritual people, and the Chinese came and took them over in a very violent fashion, killed a lot of them, tortured them, imprisoned them, and how do you see being spiritual? I mean, in this world, violence is just all around us in every way. And how does the spiritual figure protect himself from the world when, a spiritual person is a loving person, somebody that does not commit violence, and this violence versus nonviolence? Do you see the need to protect yourself physically, or what kind of person? What is your philosophy on that?
Well, most of the yogis and let's say the tradition, the lineage I belong to is called Siddhanta, which is of the Siddhas. Babaji's a Siddha, all these ascended masters are Siddhas. So they basically are in secret. And most of these Taoist sadhus, they live a secret life. Like they're in the world but not of the world. Like sometimes I would be with my guru, and we would go to a market in India, and there would be like somebody with like a glow around there, like an aura, and no one else could see it, but we could see it because we're on that frequency. And he would say to me, "You see that?" And I said, "Yeah, I see it." He's like, "He's one of us, but don't tell, And you kind of give them they kind of give you a wink because they could see you, and you kind of give them a wink like, I see you, but this is between us. This is our little secret, because they're in the world but not of the world. So, yeah, because of these things, these how can I say, these yogic higher vibrations or any kind of spiritual vibrations, they don't want to be known. They kind of want to be left alone. That's why they're like in the forest somewhere. They're in their cave. They just want to do their inner work in peace. Like they're not into that ego play of like, look at me, I'm this high ascended master. It's like a secret between all enlightened beings,
So maybe what you're saying is once you attain a vibration like that, and because you're more anonymous, people really don't mess with you because they really can't find you. And also because I believe that when you have that higher vibration, generally you don't attract that kind of violence. You do live a more peaceful life.
Yeah, that's true. When I went up the Himalayan mountains, I wasn't scared of getting eaten by a tiger or being attacked by a Himalayan Yeti or dying. I vibrate in a peaceful, in the yoga they call it ahimsa, which is non-violence, which means I'm vibrating in a frequency which means no harm to any animals. So animals will come to you and they can feel your vibration. This guy means no harm to me. He's vibrating in ahimsa. So that's the way I would put it. So
I mean, I'm definitely more in this world than probably you in a sense, or especially a yogi master, but probably almost as much as most of the viewers who watch the channel. And I could say that I rarely, if ever, get into confrontations. Almost never.
Yeah.
most of my life is very peaceful wherever I go. I think basically if you respect people, that's all you really need to do. But I think people I feel like I have this aura about me where people just respect me, and they don't give me any crap, and that's it. I just go through my life. But this is another question here from the same viewer. Which specific yoga practice or routine makes you feel most connected and makes you feel like you're making the best or biggest strides towards moksha?
Well, it really doesn't matter what I do. It matters what they do, So like, that would be a question you would have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, like, what makes me feel like I'm liberating my soul the most? So like, you see all these yogis doing all this stuff. It really don't matter what they do. It matters what you do. So as long as you turn inward and upward, you will realize what resonates with you. And so I took like all the yogic, I did all the asanas, I did all the kriyas, I did every level you could do a yoga, because I wanted to see everything. And once I've learned all the techniques, then I could formulate what works best for me. This might work for another yogi, but it doesn't really work for me. I'm not going to add it to my daily practice. So when you start figuring that out, you can answer that question better than I can answer that, because you just look in the mirror and say, what makes me feel the best and what resonates with me? That would be the best way to get the moksha.
Okay. We're coming up to a little bit of time left here, so I have this last couple of questions.
Okay.
Here's a good one that I think a lot of people, or especially a lot of men, might be interested in who are on the path. What are your thoughts on brahmacharya, celibacy? Since he is a yogi and a householder, as I am 24 and I find this practice very hard at my age. Much appreciated. Thanks.
So it's called brahmacharya, and it's basically celibacy, right? And it's, how could I say it? It's silencing the senses. This is a high-level technique. And I know we don't have much time on here, but if you want me to direct you in the right way to brahmacharya, I can. There it is. Email me. We could talk about it. But these are high-level yogic techniques, brahmacharya, celibacy. Basically, to make a long story short, you're taking sexual juice from your root and bringing it up to your crown of your head, turning it into spiritual juice. This is a ancient yogic technique. I could direct you in the right path. Email me.
Okay, let's do the last question, and all the remaining questions we can get to in perhaps an upcoming live stream, which I'll let you guys know about when it's ready. This one is a good one I think for everybody, and even for me. I would like your advice on how to keep motivation in daily practice for people who struggle with routine. For me, it seems to come in waves, and when I'm on it, I go full on until it fades away. It's a different rhythm. I would like to keep my motivation on a daily basis, though. Any advice, much appreciated.
So I would say your yogic practice, you just gotta set your willpower and say, today we're gonna do it, no matter what. I know your ego, that little devil on your shoulder, is gonna be like, no, not today. It happens even to me. Like every day, it's like, come on, can we skip the asanas today? Can we not do it today? Can we just watch TV? But you have to have that focus, that laser concentration, like, this is what we're going to do. And yeah, I like in the one of the most famous yogis is called Patanjali, and he wrote a book called the Yoga Sutras. He said the path to God is not a straight line, it's a zigzag. So you're going to have off days, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. You just dust yourself off, get up, shake it off, and dance it off, and like, okay, let's get back to it. Let's get back on the path, Some days you are better than other, but you just got to have that focus, and you can't beat yourself up about it. If you take a day off, you don't feel like it, it's okay. You know, do it the next day. But yeah, that's the best way I could say it. Like Patanjali said in the Yoga Sutras, it's not a straight line. Like all yogis come on, come off the path, you know, zigzag, you know. So it happens to all of us. You can't beat yourself up about it. You got to dust yourself off and get back on the path, you know. So that's what I would say, you know. But it happens to the best of us. So
yeah, I mean, as far as the motivation versus discipline question, I thought about this. Motivation is feelings. Temporary feelings arise when maybe you watch a video like this, you get inspired. The next 3 days you're
Right.
doing your meditation, then you kind of forget about the interview, it falls off, and then you're like, wow, I'm not motivated anymore, I can't do it. But if you live your life through motivation only, you'll never be successful. It takes discipline. Discipline is like what Vedagurudev says. You know, you have to consciously decide this is something that I'm committing to for the long term, and I'm going to do it every day. And that's what I've done with this YouTube channel. That's what I've done with anything in life that takes success. You just have to do it. You have to suck it up and do it. That's it. You can't rely on motivation. You know, motivation can be great at periods where you're lagging, but you really need to put the work in every day. That's the way I see it, whether it's for the gym, whether it's for starting a business or for expanding your spiritual awareness. Same thing.
yeah, so anything you do just takes a little practice. Like I said in the last video, I'm no yogic superhero. I'm the worst yoga that ever lived in the history of the world. I treated my body like an amusement park. I thought I was a super famous DJ. I was totally attached to my ego. So if I could do it, you could do it. You could probably do it better than me. You just gotta make the commitment. There's no secret how I could sit in the lotus position for over an hour. I just did the work. And with any of this stuff, the moksha, the liberation, the detachment, you just got to do the work. And if you need help, reach out and contact me. There's my email. You know, I'm willing to help you because I was like you a couple years ago. I didn't know where to start. I had a bunch of questions. You know, am I a real yogi if I can't sit in the lotus position? All the questions you have, I've had those questions. So when I hear your questions, I see me and you because I had those exact same questions. So don't be shy. Reach out to me, or email Chad, and let's get to work. You know, there's hope. Yoga is for anybody. It's no mystical, magical thing, you know. A lot of people see these siddhis and like, I can never do that. Or they see the asanas, I can never do that. I said the exact same thing when I started yoga. But there's hope. If I could do it, you could do it.
Yeah, and guys, if you do email Vedagurudev, try to post that same question in the comment section so we can get to it in the next live stream. Because I'm sure Vedagurudev, you're going to get a lot of emails. It's going to be hard to respond. You'll respond, but it's, you know, you have to answer 100 questions. It's easier to do in a video form.
I enjoy the work.
Yes.
Give me all your questions. Give me everything. I enjoy the work. I want to do selfless service. So this is good karma yoga for me. I like helping people. Believe me. Don't be shy. I had the same exact questions you had a couple years ago. I am you. So when I look at you, I see myself in the mirror. And I had those exact same questions. So the way my teacher helped me is the way I help you. And let's get started. Don't be shy. If you have questions about any yogic techniques, pranayama, brahmacharya, ojas maitrika pranayama, meditation, dhyana, anything. Kriya yoga is for everybody. If it resonates with you and you love Babaji, I saw a lot of people posted in the comments. They felt Babaji speaking through me and you, Chad. So if you feel the energy and it resonates with you, contact me or contact Chad and let's get to work, you know? If you're trying to, there were some people that said in the comments that they were overcoming addiction and different health problems. We got a technique for all that. Contact me, you know? Let me know. I'm here to help. I want you to, when you live a good life, I live a good life. So it makes me feel good to help people, selfless service, you know? Let's get to work. If you love Kriya Yoga, I love you too. If you love Babaji, I love you too. Even if you don't love Babaji, I still love you unconditionally, and I want you to be the best person you could be. So,
Yeah, and I can
let's
see
get to
that
work.
because you've been so patient with me. With I've put you off. I haven't been there. Like I said, I've been there because I've been so busy. And you still so patient and so loving the way you write to me and said, "No problem, Chad. No worries. I'm here when you're ready." So I think you're the only guest to ever be so gracious like that. So I thank you for your patience.
Well, I wanted to tell you, Chad, I appreciate the work you're doing on this channel. It's outstanding on Open Your Reality. I know you had some difficulties to overcome, but you're doing great, excellent spiritual work. And I know your viewers feel the same way out there. I tell you, I love you unconditionally. You're my brother. You know, like I said before, you love Babaji, I love Babaji, so we are brothers. So I love you unconditionally, and no matter what, know that the viewers respect you. They respect the work you put in and the time. And I know you love this Open Your Reality channel and all your channels, and it's really helping people. When we first did this video, last one, I was like, well, maybe we'll get like a couple comments. Then I saw like, on over 100 comments, over 2,000 views. I was like, oh, this is really resonating with people. People are really need help. So I'm here to help. It's my job. I deliver Babaji's mail. I say I'm Babaji's mailman. So Babaji hears your call. He wants to help you. He's using me. I say Babaji's driving my car. I'm just watching him drive me around. So all the glory to Babaji, all the glory to whatever God you believe in. Let me help you as an instrument. That is my job. I found my new calling, helping people who need help. So if this video resonates with you and you need help, don't be shy. Reach out, email me. No problem. I'm here to help.
Well, thank you so much, Vedagurudev, for joining us on today's show and answering the questions. And guys, we'll be back with a live stream maybe in the next few days. We'll hash out the details. And Vedagurudev, any last words you want to leave the viewers, or you want to say any blessing?
I would say do whatever you do to free your soul. Free your soul. There's hope. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm no secret mystical yogi. I don't come from a yogic background. I have no yogic knowledge, no experience. I'm the worst yogi to ever live. Up until a couple years ago, I treated my body like an amusement park. I did every stupid thing you could think of, So I was attached to my bank account. I was attached to my car. I was attached to my ego. I thought I was the best DJ to ever live in the history of the universe. So if I can overcome that ego, you definitely can. You could do it way easier than me. So everybody out there, I thank you for the kind words in the comments. And I just wanted to tell you, who's ever watching this video, I love you unconditionally. So if you need any help, reach out to me. Let me help you. There's my YouTube channel. I just started it a couple days ago. I have like 10 subscribers, so help me out.
How many videos do you have up?
0.
Okay, well, we need to get that's good you got 10 subscribers and 0 videos, but you know what I think we should do is I could actually break this and the first one we did up into little clips, and maybe I could send them to you. You could add them to the channel with some captions and music.
Yeah, so we could work it out. Or, if you're having a problem with this platform, maybe we could talk about something where you could release yourself from the prison of this platform, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, and I would like, I would love to help you with your channel if you need my advice on anything with the channel, because I've been doing it for a while. But I think you should post if you want to post these interviews on your channel, you are very welcome to do so, and I could email you the links to them. I will do so.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll talk about it off camera, but yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, like the main message, like I told you before, Chad, you're doing a great job. I know it's a lonely path, it's a self path, it's an individual path, but the people who see your videos around the world and resonate with you, it can't be measured in some paper money. I'll tell you one good story before we left. One of the most famous yogis is called Ramayana Maharishi, right? And when he finally got to the place, he found he was going to make his ashram. He took the little bit of rupees he had and threw it in the water. He said, I never want to touch money again, this dirty money. And he got his wish. So there's hope out there. There's many thousands of yogis in the Himalayan mountains who don't touch money at all. You know, because you lived in Thailand before, every morning at 6 a.m., the monks walk barefoot on the hot pavement and come by with their little bowl and give you blessings, and you put some rice in there, you give them some money. They don't touch money either. So I know it's frustrating because you need money to be in the world, but of the world. But the people you're helping around the world with your YouTube platform and your videos can't be measured in money.
Thank you. And with that, guys, we'll end the interview. And if you want to say any blessings or anything, now's the time to do it, Vedagurudev, or else we'll end the transmission.
Okay. Well, I'll show you one technique before we go. It's called Omkara, and it's basically navel, A, heart, U, crown, M. So Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva on the crown. So it goes, and the fourth part is silent. So you do it like this. Ah, Om. Ah, Om. Ah, Om.
I like it.
And I'll end with the Shanti mantra, giving peace and love to all people, all religions, all around the world. Om Shanti, 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 Shalom, Sat Nam, Sadhu, Tao, Om, Spirit, Swami, Kami, Amen, Amen, Omen, Selah, Om. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Jai Babaji, Jai Mataji, Jai Sitas, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Jai Jai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Kriya Babaji Namo.